this hole is drilled now, as deep as I want it. You can see that's going in there pretty much all the way down to the end. I did resort to using some WD-40 to assist that. Some people get confused the difference between using a lubricant and a coolant. Water-soluble oil, which is quite popular for metal lathes, does two. It does a coolant action and a lubricant action. The lubricant action assists the small chips to move away from the tool. In the case of a drill bit, it helps the chips slide up and exit the flutes of the drill bit. On a cutting tool, what it does is it helps the chips slide off of the cutting surface of the tool and away quick enough without getting crushed and generating more heat. The cooling effect of a coolant does just that. It just takes away, and that's normally water, and that takes away the heat a lot better than the coolant. The actual very tip of the tool doesn't get either. That's the bit that does all the hard work. I mean, as soon as it's touching steel and making a cut, there's no coolant there, and there's no lubricant on the very tip of it, the cutting action. Okay, that's done. We're going to turn this around and do it from the other side now. Okay, right, that's the nib side is drilled completely now. I've got that fully depth. The other side I've used the center drill, and I've drilled it full depth, including the countersunk portion of it. Like I said to you earlier, is the countersunk portion of that is at 60 degrees, but a standard drill bit, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's about 135 degrees included angle. So when you go to drill it, the countersunk portion of that is not really going to keep that centered. What you need to do here is you need to let the tool do the work. This is what my foreman told me when I was way back when I was an apprentice, and it served me quite well. When you do the drilling on a brand new drill bit, mostly the two angles are exactly the same, and as you approach the work, so both of them will do the cutting. But the chances are you've sharpened a drill bit yourself, whether by hand or using a jig or a special little machine like a drill doctor or something like that. There's always going to be a very slight difference, so one of them is going to be doing the work. The problem is that as it approaches the work there, one of them is going to be doing the work. If you don't let the tool do the work, it'll always push the drill it'll try to find the center, and the problem with that is that you're going to end up with an off-center hole. What we're going to be doing is I'll let this cutting edge here do its work until these raised portions here on the drill bit, which are called the lands, they're going to take over. Once we've drilled all the way down there, the lands are going to take over, and those are going to guide the drill and keep it straight as we drill. If you force the drill, it's going to go, whichever one is the sharpest side, it's going to try and cut and follow that line, and you're going to have a skew hole. Alright, we'll give that a go and see if what I've said was true or not. Okay, let me set this up. This is a 7mm drill. If I miss any of the dimensions, I'll put them on the screen. Right. This is the first drill I'm going to use. There's a much longer one I'm going to need afterwards, so this one I'm going to drill full length. I'm not going to start with a full length one because it's more difficult to keep it straight. And here I'm just going to eyeball the beginning of this to drill it up. Let's check that back a bit. It's about there. Okay, and once it gets going, I'll be using some WD-40 again to help all the chips come out of here. On the small drill it wasn't so bad. Just remember, the bigger the size here, the bigger your chips, therefore the hotter it's going to be, and you can get burnt, so just be careful. Okay, let's go. Now hopefully this drill bit's nice and sharp and it'll do its business. Don't leave it idling, keep the drill bit going. It's hot. If it shows any sign of discoloring on the steel, withdraw the drill bit immediately. We'll keep it going. Set that back. Right, there we go. Right, this is hot. There we go. Just keep this cool. I wish I could take this lathe slower. What you want to do is you want to have a slow speed and a fast feed on stainless. As long as we keep it moving, we'll be all right. And I could have used a smaller drill bit here as well, but when I get real deep, that's not going to help me. That's the WD-40 that's burning there. It stinks the house out. The wife is going to be moaning in a minute. Get that out. There you go. Let that cool down for a second. No rush. Let things cool down. If you carry on drilling with a drill bit that's really hot, it's just going to go blunt. The minute it goes blunt, it does a couple of things. First thing it does is ruin the drill bit, and then of course it's going to ruin the work. And it also case hardens the work because it superheats the steel, and because it's not cutting, it starts to work harden the bit of steel that you're trying to drill. Even if you sharpen the drill bit and come back to it, you can find you're going to blunt your drill bit straight away. Okay, let's go. I'll do the same as well. I'll keep drilling this out, and just to keep the video as short as possible, and I'll come back to you when we get near the end. There we go. Okay, that's the end of the drilling. Just check the depth, it's fine. It's taken about 20 minutes and things are pretty hot. Right, I'll just check that depth. Just go right down to the end of the drill bit. Take this out. It's a bit warm. Yeah, all the way down to there. Right. Let that cool down for a minute. Okay. Okay, you can see on this distance here now, that's the full depth of that 7mm hole. It's got the small 2.5mm hole in the other end, and the depth of that goes up to there and there, and that's where that's going to sit. So you can see that the tip of the refill is going to sit out quite a bit, so that's good, because there's going to be a spring on there that keeps it as far back to a stopper, which is going to be in there. Okay, we'll probably make this end a bit shorter. Okay, right, that's looking good. I think we're about time to do some threading on it. Okay, back soon.